You ever have that moment, you look at your salary, a salary you thought was pretty good, right? Then you look at your bank account after buying a house and just think, where is all the money going? It's a super frustrating and honestly super common feeling. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why a house that you can technically afford can end up making you feel totally broke.
I mean, this quote right here, it just gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We make $75,000 a year. Why do we feel like broke college students? It's the whole emotional puzzle in one sentence. You do everything you're supposed to do. You follow the rules, land a good job, you buy the house, and bam, suddenly you feel like you're right back to scraping by. So what is actually going on?
Okay, so to really figure this out, let's look at a case study. We're going to call them the Smiths, and they're really the perfect stand-in for pretty much anyone who's played the homeownership game by the book, only to discover that, well, maybe the book was missing a few really important chapters.
So here they are, the Smiths. Together, they're bringing in $75,000 a year. They've been saving up, they did all their research, and they just closed on their very first starter home for $250,000. I mean, on paper, this is it, right? The American dream. But as you can probably guess, the financial reality is about to hit them, and hit them hard.
So the big question is, how did they even get here? Well, it all starts with that green light from the bank. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the official math. The formula that told the Smiths and millions of other people, yep, you can definitely afford this.
Okay, so the key metric that banks absolutely live by is something called the debt-to-income ratio, or DTI for short. It's actually a pretty simple percentage. They just take all your monthly debt payments, then car loans, student loans, credit cards, and they divide that by your monthly gross income, and that's before taxes. This one little number is pretty much the main way they decide if you're a safe bet for a big loan like a mortgage.
And here it is, the magic number, 43%. For the most part, if all your debts, including the new mortgage you want, add up to less than 43% of your pre-tax income, the bank says you're good to go. And the Smiths? Oh, they passed this test with flying colors. The whole system gave them a big thumbs up. But this is exactly where the illusion starts. Because here's the thing about that 43% calculation. It doesn't even come close to telling the whole story. So now, let's get into the good stuff, the hidden costs of owning a home. These are all the expenses that the bank's DTI calculation just completely ignores. But these are the things that can absolutely wreck your monthly budget.
All right, so everyone, and I mean everyone, focuses on the tip of the iceberg, right? And that's the basic mortgage payment. You'll hear it called P&I, which just stands for principal and interest. The principal is the part that actually pays down your loan, and the interest is, well, that's the bank's profit. It's the big number you see on the mortgage calculator, and for the Smiths, it looked totally manageable. But it's only the beginning.
First up, you got to add homeowner's insurance. And listen, this is not optional. Your lender will require you to have it. So for the Smiths, we're tacking on another, say, $95 every single month to their real housing cost. Okay, now this next one is a biggie, maintenance and repairs. The bank's little DTI calculation, it doesn't care one bit if your water heater decides to explode or your roof springs a leak. But you know who does care? Reality. A really good rule of thumb is to set aside about 1% of your home's value every year for this stuff. For a $250,000 house, that's over $200 a month that you absolutely have to account for. And oh yeah, there's another one, private mortgage insurance, or PMI. See, if you can't put 20% down on the house, and let's be real, a lot of first-time buyers can't, you get slopped with this extra monthly fee. And the kicker is, it's not even insurance for you. It's insurance for the lender that you have to pay for. For our couple, the Smiths, that's another $100 a month just gone. So let's add it all up. We've got the basic mortgage, the homeowner's insurance, that maintenance fund, the PMI, and we haven't even mentioned property taxes yet. So when you throw all of that into a pot with all their other normal life expenses, what does their monthly budget actually look like? Let me tell you, the result is pretty shocking.
And this chart, wow, it just perfectly shows the trap they're in. Just look at it for a second. That giant chunk, that's their total housing costs and taxes, immediately eating up almost all of their monthly income. And then you see that tiny little sliver over there? That's what's left. That's all they have left for, living their lives.
Okay, so here's the bottom line. After every single required payment is made, after all the bills are paid, the Smiths have exactly $77 left over for the entire month. I'll say it again, $77. That little bit of money has to cover their groceries, gas for their cars, clothes, literally any kind of fun, saving for retirement, and forget about an emergency. This right here is the definition of being house poor. And this really brings us to the main point of this whole thing. It's what we're calling the affordability illusion, because there is a huge difference between what a bank says you can afford and what you can actually comfortably live on. So let's break this down. On one side, you've got technically affordable. That's the bank's world. It's all about that simple DTI formula, and it pretty much just ignores the messy realities of real life. But on the other side, you've got comfortably affordable. Now, this is your world. This is based on your real budget, it focuses on your quality of life, and most importantly, it includes all of those hidden costs we just went over. And here's the twist. You have to ask, why does this illusion even exist? Well, to be blunt, the system kind of benefits when you stretch this thin. When you're house poor, you become a super reliable source of interest payments for the next 30 years. The whole technically affordable model is designed to make sure the loan gets approved, because at the end of the day, that's the main goal of the lending industry. So I'll just leave you with this final question. As you're thinking about your own future, or maybe you're in this process right now, you really have to ask yourself, is that dream home you're looking at technically affordable, or is it comfortably affordable? Because knowing the difference between those two things, well, that's the key to not falling into this exact same trap.